Do you find that that's just a general thing that happens? People always go more towards well, not always, but in most cases, go more towards like the subject matter expertise rather than the sales expertise.
I think they look for the minimum and hire who they like. They fall in love. I call it puppy love. Remember that crush you had, on somebody in grade school or junior high or wherever it was. But that's what happens. They interview these people, and then everybody goes, "Well, I really like him. I really like her," and they hire the one that they liked. That might be able to spell sass, but it's right. But they really don't. They really don't have the technical stuff, and they confuse longevity with experience. I mean, listen, I've got 40 years of pickup basketball, but that doesn't make me an NBA player. So that's what happens. And the reason I
You've
like
used
to,
that one before. I like.
oh
I,
yeah, no,
I
but
really
it's
like that.
true.
Yeah, yeah.
It's true. Um, so the reason I asked to see the job description is I want to know, are they clear on what they're looking for?
Mm-hmm.
Because if they're not, then they're going to go with who they like. And think about it, if the job description's wrong, then the ad they run is going to be wrong. Then the interview questions they ask is going to be wrong. And then they're going to end up hiring the wrong person. And they're most likely not going to um, onboard them properly. A lot of companies confuse 3 days of orientation with onboarding. Onboarding really needs to be 3 months long on average. The best companies are doing 90 days of onboarding. Now, that doesn't mean 90 days of classroom, but it's
Mm-hmm.
90 days of onboarding. And in the 80s, when I got out of college, if you really wanted to be a professional salesperson, you went to somebody like IBM or HP or Control Data, and all of them had like a year and a half long mentor program. They did skills training, they did role plays, they filmed it, they did feedback, they make sure you had your product knowledge. You would do a couple weeks of classroom, and then you go out in the field, and then you come back and do some more classroom and go out in the field, and you do joint calls together where you would shadow somebody. But they had a whole sequence and progression, and would not let you go out on your own until you'd gone through that whole year and a half. There's very few companies that invest that much into their people anymore. What's happened is the the emphasis of becoming a really skillful professional salesperson has shifted from the company providing that in the 80s to you having to do it on your own.